Friday, August 31st, 2018. That's right, and it's time for my Week 12 CFL predictions. Because they didn't play yesterday. They play Friday, one on Sunday, two on Monday. So the CFL report will probably not be until Tuesday. I'm not sure why no games on Saturday, or Thursday. So here we go. Friday game. Montreal at Ottawa. Ottawa is favored by 16 points. Ottawa is the division leader in the East. Now, if Montreal wins, they would climb within 6 points of the leading Ottawa Red Blacks. But I don't think that's going to happen because it's in Ottawa. Ottawa's the better team. Ottawa, when they last played 2 weeks ago, completely destroyed Winnipeg. Winnipeg's a better team than Montreal. Montreal is also starting Pipkin again. They are not starting Manziel. Now, I didn't see anything. This doesn't look like it is a decision of Manziel's hurt and he's not playing. This almost looks like a decision of it's like Manziel's fine and Pipkin is still playing. So I'm not really sure why Montreal traded for Manziel, other than the fact that they didn't have Pipkin on the team, I don't think, when they traded for Manziel. And Pipkin has played well the last couple of games, but now if you're just going to keep starting Pipkin, you've got him in the same place as he was with the Ticats, sitting behind another quarterback waiting for that guy to get hurt. Which is not something, it doesn't sound like Manziel wants to do that, because according to this, Manziel and Pipkin actually know each other and get along pretty well. Now, Manziel's saying all the right things and Pipkin's saying all the right things, but it looks like it's going to be Pipkin starting against Ottawa. Don't be surprised if Manziel gets to come in if the game gets away from Montreal. If Pipkin's getting destroyed by Ottawa, maybe they bring in Manziel, although it doesn't sound like much fun for Manziel to have cleanup duty, but it could happen. I'm still going to take Ottawa in this game. Ottawa's a better team than Montreal. It's in Ottawa. Ottawa's had 2 weeks to prepare. They've got 2 weeks worth of film on Pipkin. I'm sure they'll have something for him. Ottawa's one of the better teams. Winnipeg and Saskatchewan. This one's tough. Saskatchewan's one of those teams where it's like I pick them, and most of the time I get their games wrong. Whether I pick them to win or lose, I get them wrong. Winnipeg kind of needs a win here. So they've lost 2 in a row. So they kind of need a win here. They kind of need to get back off the schneid. They're 4th in the West. Saskatchewan is just ahead of them. Saskatchewan's 5-4. Winnipeg. Nichols needs to have a good game to really pull this one off, but Saskatchewan's got Collaros. I'm gonna pick Saskatchewan. They're favored by 3. It is in Saskatchewan, so I'm going with the home team. But don't be surprised if Winnipeg does pull off this victory, because I think Winnipeg, they need a victory. They really, really, really need a victory right now, because if they lose this is a divisional game. And this would put them behind Saskatchewan even more. So I can see Winnipeg maybe pulling this off, but I'm still going Saskatchewan. Then Monday, we got the 2 games. We got Edmonton at Calgary. Calgary at home. And Calgary, of course, is the best team in the CFL. Edmonton, though, is really good as well. They're 2nd in the West. A win by Edmonton would help them get a little bit closer, but I really think this is more that Calgary is just a better team, and Calgary probably should win this thing. So I'm going to go with Calgary. Now, Toronto. The next game would be Toronto, and I'm trying to find the news on this because it looks like Toronto might have signed Duron Carter. A lot of people were kind of speculating where he'd end up. Now, Calgary was favored by 7, by the way, and I still think they'll win, but maybe not by 7. I think Riley will have a lot for him, but Bo Levi Mitchell, I think, he's having a great year. So I'll still take Calgary in that game just because it's at home. But like I said, I really am going way too many homer picks on this, or home team picks, which worries me because usually the home team doesn't win every game, and I've already picked the first 3 games have been home teams. Now we're getting in Toronto versus Hamilton. Now, Toronto did pick up Deron Carter to give another weapon to McLeod Bethel-Thompson. Hamilton played good enough to beat Edmonton last week, but Hamilton had 2 weeks to prepare for Edmonton. Now Hamilton's got to go into Toronto. Toronto lost the previous game to Montreal. Is Toronto going to be up for this game to take it, or is Hamilton going to stay in second place in the East and win another game? A lot of Hamilton in the beginning of the season looked really good, and I thought Hamilton would be a better team than what they played. Then they kind of slumped for a little bit, and they were kind of losing games I didn't think they should lose. But then Hamilton played pretty well last week, beating Edmonton, who is a very good team. Hamilton's getting 8.5. I don't give Hamilton 8.5. I wouldn't take, if I had to take the points on this, I wouldn't. I think Toronto will keep this a lot closer. But once again, I'm going with the home team. And I'm just going to say this right now. I don't see myself going 4-0. Because I've taken all the home teams seem like the teams that should win all of these games. Home teams are all favored. Saskatchewan and Winnipeg worries me only because Winnipeg really needs a win. Toronto at Hamilton. Toronto, of course, really needs a win. Hamilton doesn't need it as much, but another win would help them stay within shouting distance of Ottawa. So it's just one of those things. It's like I'm going with all the homer picks. Ottawa by 16 over Montreal. I'd actually take the 16, but if Pipkin has a really good game against the division leading Ottawa Red Blacks, I don't know. I don't know where this guy came from. To me, he was a guy that was let go on somebody else's team, and then he appears in Montreal. And that's the thing. They always say this is why players hate getting hurt, and they don't like to come out of the game. Because before Manziel got hurt, he was the starter. There was no doubt, there was no question in anybody's mind. Manziel was going to start pretty much the rest of the season. And he got hurt. They bring in Pipkin. And Pipkin's played pretty well the last 2 games. And now Pipkin's going to start the 3rd game. So this is why, when players play through injuries and pretend like they're not hurt, this is the reason why, because they lose their jobs. We don't know what Manziel would have done if he could have played these last 2 weeks himself. But Pipkin picked up the win last week. That helped Montreal a lot. And now Sherman is going to stick with them for another week. And I can't say I blame him, but all I'm saying is, if I'm in the front office, I'm probably not the happiest guy in the world because I gave up 2 first-round picks and 2 players for a quarterback that's sitting behind Pipkin that I don't think I had to give up anything for to get him. But I don't know. Manziel loses his starting job because he got hurt. So I don't know. I didn't see anything in the report that I read that Manziel was still hurt. And that's the reason they were keeping him out another week. So that's why I'm saying this is a coach's decision to play Pipkin over Manziel. Which, so be it. But I'd just like to see Manziel get in there and play. I'd like to see what he can do. But every time you turn around, something seems to be kind of stifling Manziel's ability to stay in there. And maybe this will be kind of a wake-up call for Manziel to maybe not try to take on defenders head-on when you're trying to get in the end zone. Maybe run to the sideline. Maybe get the corner of the end zone and run in that way. Maybe. I don't know. Just saying. Maybe don't take on... I know that you think that, these aren't NFL caliber players, but they're defenders, and they still love to hit the QB. And they'll hit them hard. It's like, I guarantee you, CFL guys can hit every bit as hard as NFL guys. So, don't challenge them, Johnny. Just, you're a quarterback, dude. Get down. Get down, take your yards. Live to play another down, man. So there's the picks. Ottawa to beat Montreal. I'm going to still take Saskatchewan to beat Winnipeg, but I have a feeling I could get that one wrong because I get Saskatchewan wrong all the time. Calgary to beat Edmonton. I think Calgary will beat Edmonton. This will put Edmonton a little bit reeling, just a little bit, because this will give them 2 losses in a row if they lose to Calgary, and it will really put Calgary up in that division it would give Calgary a 6-point lead. They'd be 9-1, and Edmonton would be 6-5. And then Hamilton to beat Toronto. I think Masoli will pull it out. Maybe McLeod Bethel Thompson's little dream run might be over, but they did pick up Deron Carter. So maybe that gives them a very effective weapon. And Toronto was winning. They had won a couple of games before this, and they need to win more than Hamilton. But right now, everybody needs to win. So Hamilton, Calgary, Saskatchewan, Ottawa. And we'll just have to see. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your picks are down in the comments below. With all that being said, to the troops, past, present, and future, thanks for the freedom.